This is Brett with Growers, and in this video, we're going to learn about exporting a harvest or planting shapefile with MyJohnDeere. So once you log in, you might see this screen. What we need to do is move to our Operations Center. So let's go ahead and click that. That's going to open up a new tab up here with the Operations Center. If you have access to multiple accounts, make sure that you are looking at the correct account by choosing the account in the drop-down up here. Now we are currently on the account that we want. So let's go over here and look at fields. So here we can see a general boundary and the names of our fields. We know that we want to access the harvest data for this field and this field. So I'm going to go ahead, now that I've accessed the checkbox, I'm going to check these two fields. If you wanted to export the harvest or planting for every field, you could check this one here to choose all. But we just want this field and this field. So now we're going to go up here to this button. It says Shp Export. That stands for Shapefile Export. So let's go ahead and click that. And so what it's going to do is it's going to tell me what is available in those two fields for export. So we could export the boundary, but that's not what we want. We want to do some type of operational data. So we see here we have two options, seeding and harvest. So planting and harvest, right? For this particular example, let's go with harvest. It would be the same thing whether it was seeding or harvest. So let's do harvest, and there's only 1 year option here, 2018. Now you could, if you had previous historical data, you could choose 17, 16, 15, however many years you happen to have. You would have to do this one at a time to get it exported. You only do it by operation and by year. So if you had 3 years of harvest, you would have to do this 3 times. If you had harvest and planting for 2 years, you would have to do 2 exports for harvest and 2 exports for planting for a total of 4. Right? So you can only do one operation in 1 year at a time. So for this example, let's go ahead and do harvest for 2018 for these two fields that we chose, and we hit export. All right, so now after MyJohnDeere got done thinking, it says we've started packaging your field data. Your file should be available for download in the files list shortly. So the file, the data that we're trying to get isn't here right now. It's somewhere called the files list. So let's go ahead and find that. So let's hit done. And we find the files list by going up here to tools. And under tools, we have files. So in the files list, it's going to show us all the files that we've requested in a certain time frame. And in this time frame, it happens to be July 16th through August the 16th in the year 2019. So you're going to see some files that are clickable and this file right here is not. This is actually the one that we just created, a multi-field export.zip. So what this is MyJohnDeere is currently packaging this data. It's not ready yet, but you can see that it's working on it. So after a certain amount of time, this will become available. You might have to refresh the screen by doing that or hitting the refresh button here until this becomes available. So let's assume that this is the file that we want. So we want this file really right now, but let's just assume that this is the file that we want. We could check that file right here, and now we have an option to download file as selected file type. So let's go ahead and download that file, and we want to download it as a zip file. That's the file structure that we want. So MyJohnDeere is going to now start packaging that and downloading it. After it gets done downloading, all we would have to do then is change the name of this to what it is. For this example, for what we packaged, it would have been 2018 harvest for whatever grower that we had, and we would put that in the uploads portal so that growers could access that data.